The following is a nice short routine of just 3 stretches and an optional 4th to stretch some of the muscles that we don't tend to stretch before or after a run, but it's really important to keep them nice and supple so that you don't get any build-up of tension in your back, especially your lower back and your hips. The good thing about it is that it's lying down on the mat, so you'll just need to find a little bit of space. If you've got a Remedial band, then have that to hand. If not, a scarf will do very nicely. If you could get a chance to do this 3 times a week, then that'll give you lots of benefit. But if not, once or twice will be better than nothing. So let's get going and come down to lying on your mat. So come to lying down on your back with your feet and your knees hip width apart. Make sure your head is supported by a cushion if you need it. And then bring your left foot to the outside of your right thigh. Make sure your right knee doesn't fall in, but it keeps in line with the right hip. And take hold of your left knee and draw up and diagonally across your body to your right shoulder. Keep your shoulders relaxed and only take the stretch as far as you can actually relax into it. It doesn't build up any tension anywhere else. And we're going to hold this stretch for roughly half a minute. You need to hold a stretch like this. This is a stretch to really lengthen the muscle, not just maintain its existing length, but just to try and stretch it a little bit further. And you need to give the brain time to get the message to the muscle to let go and release. So that's why it's nice and relaxing. You can close your eyes, just let that release. And then if it's not too strong, if it's strong enough, then just hold it. But if it's not too strong, then just bring up your right knee, keep hold of your left knee and also take hold of your left foot now. And using your right thigh and right knee, you're drawing your left leg a little bit nearer to your chest. You can see now that the left knee is in line with the left shoulder and the left foot is in line with the right shoulder this time. And you get a slightly different stretch within the buttocks. You've got 3 different buttocks and then a deeper muscle that you need to keep stretched here. And while we're here, I can do some ankle circles on my right ankle. Keep the ankles nice and loose. Again, keep the shoulders relaxed. Use your breath to relax into this. You get a really good stretch through this, right deep into the left buttock, the back of the left thigh. So I'm just going to do 1 on each side for now, but if you've got the time or if you're very tight, then always come back and do 2 or 3. So I've dropped my left foot down in line with my left hip, and I'm now bringing my right foot to the outside of my left thigh, taking hold of my right knee and drawing up and across my body to my left shoulder. So I'm now getting a nice stretch in my right hip and right buttock, keeping the shoulders relaxed. And remember, each side will be slightly different. You might have one side that's tighter than the other, so you might want to go back and give that side an extra stretch. But for today, I'll just do 1 on each side. And you can close your eyes, just relax into this. These are great stretches to do at the end of the day. If you've had a busy day at work, come down and lie down just for 10 minutes or so and give yourself a nice stretch and you'll feel a lot better afterwards. So if that stretch isn't too tight and you want to take it a bit further, now bring your left foot up, your left knee up towards you. Keep hold of your right knee, but also take hold of your right foot and draw towards your chest. So now my right knee is in line with my right shoulder and my right foot is in line with my left shoulder. And I'll do some ankle circles on my left ankle here. Do some in one direction and then some in the other. Keep that nice and supple, that ankle. And stay here for a few more breaths, really encouraging the right knee and the right foot towards my chest, but never taking it so far that I feel I can't relax into it. So always keeping any tension out of your face, especially the jaw and your neck and shoulders. And then drop my left foot down and release my right foot. So that's a good, really good exercise for loosening up some of the buttock muscles, which help protect your lower back if they're nice and loose. So let's do some hip rolls now. So I'm going to bring my right leg over my left so that the back of my right knee is right over my left thigh. arms by my side, and I'm going to take my knees and hips over to my right, and I'm going to roll my head to the left. Now I'm only going over so far as I'm keeping my left shoulder on the mat. I'm not arching my back here. And I'm also getting a nice stretch in my neck, so keep any tension out of your jaw and your neck. Shoulders relaxed. Let the legs be nice and heavy. And relax into this for a few breaths. And this is a very good stretch for giving a nice gentle stretch to your lower back. And then to come back to the center, I pull in my core. Think about getting my back onto the mat, so I never arch my back. Keep your legs crossed as they are, and now take them over to your left and roll your head to the right. But keep your right shoulder relaxed and on the mat, and get a nice stretch. This time I'm getting a stretch through the right side of my body. Now I'm going to take my stretch a little bit further and put my left hand behind my right knee and gently draw my right knee over a bit more, but my right shoulder is still on the mat. So if you find it lifting and you're coming onto your side, then take your hand away and just get that stretch without that extra little bit. Again, if you've got the time to do this at least 2 times each side, then you'll really notice the difference. But for today, I'm just going to show you once each side. So holding this for a couple of breaths, really relaxing into this, and coming back to the center, pulling in my core, getting my back onto the mat as I bring my knees and hips back to the center. Uncross my legs. Now I'm going to cross my legs the other way. So now my left leg is over my right thigh, and I'm going to take my knees and hips over to my right side again and roll my head to the left, making sure my left shoulder stays on the mat. And if you want to take the stretch a bit further, you can put your right hand behind your left knee. It depends how loose you are in your lower back. Never force anything. You just want a nice, gentle stretch. So the first time you might want to do it without your hand behind the knee, and the second time then you might be a bit looser and you can take that stretch a tiny bit further. Keeping my head, my shoulders relaxed, my legs relaxed. Coming back to the center, scooping in from my core and my tummy, getting my back onto the mat to bring my knees and hips to the center. And now I'm going to take my knees and hips to my left as I roll my head to the right. Keeping my shoulders relaxed, especially my right shoulder. And now my left leg is over my right leg, so I don't need to bring my hand behind the knee, and I'm getting a nice stretch across the outside and the top of my right thigh. And that's a nice stretch here. These stretches that I'm showing you now are good to do, not even if you run, but at any time. They keep your lower back nice and supple, keep any tension out of your legs. And if you've got very tight hamstrings, tight quads, and tight buttocks, you tend to have tension pulling on your lower back. So I've brought my knees and hips back to the center, and I'm now going to uncross my legs back to where I started. Now get your band, and we're going to do some stretches to our legs. So take your band and wrap it around your right foot. And if you can have the band more over the ball of the foot and the toes, it helps draw your toes down towards your body. So hold one end of the band in each hand, have your elbows relaxed on the mat, and have your leg nice and straight. Now, even if you're very tight and your leg is down here, that doesn't matter, but there's no point in having it up above the hip if you're not straight behind the knee. So get it to whatever level you're straight behind the knee, and use your band for support, the elbows down, so you can relax the shoulders. There's no point in bringing any tension anywhere else. And really have that sense of reaching your heel away from you and then your toes down towards you. And it can be a very strong stretch, so just take it at whatever level you can relax into it, like all the stretches. Now, I know we've done leg stretches when we were doing the warm-up and also after our run, but these take the stretches a little bit further. So it's really important to keep stretch behind the leg in the hamstring, because if you've got very tight hamstrings, it pulls on your lower back. And the hamstrings tend to tighten up quite nicely when you go running. So hold this. And now working from the outside of the ankle, don't turn out from the whole leg. Turn the sole of the foot in. So now my outside edge of my foot is up towards the ceiling and I'm getting a stretch on the outside of my shin. So just relax into this a bit, using your band for support. And all the time gently encouraging your legs slightly high without bending the knee. And all the time relaxing and breathing into it. So now bring your foot back to being flat again. Take both ends of the band in your right hand. If you have your fingers on top and thumbs underneath, then you don't put any pressure through the back of your wrist and you keep your wrist aligned with your forearm. Now point your right foot and take your right leg directly out to the side away from your body. You can turn the leg out slightly from the top of the thigh, and I'm now getting a nice stretch on the inside of my thigh. I'm relaxing my left knee out a bit just to help counterbalance your pelvis, but you will come out of neutral pelvis here. So use the band to encourage the leg out to the side. You want to watch your wrist alignment, so the back of your hand is on a direct line to the back of your forearm. So you're not putting any pressure through the back of your wrist. If you want to take the stretch a bit further, then you bring your foot up a little bit nearer to your shoulder. So just breathing and relaxing into this, stretching away through the inside of my right leg, my right thigh, pointing my right foot and breathing into it. Let it release. And then to bring my leg back above my hip, I'm going to bend my knee very slightly. That takes any pressure off my lower back. And then I straighten the leg again. And now I'm going to take both ends of the band in my left hand, fingers on top, thumb underneath. And I'm going to bring my right leg across my body without lifting the right hip off to begin with. And that gets a really strong stretch through a different part of the hamstring and the outside of the thigh. Again, my heel is now reaching away and my toes towards my chest. And I'm going to hold this here for a few breaths. And if this is particularly strong, then you can hold it at this level. But if you want to take it a bit further, I'm just going to relax my left knee out to the side. And now my right hip is coming off, but my right shoulder stays on the mat. And I'm bringing my right leg all the way over. There's no point in letting it rest on the floor because you don't get such a good stretch there. So just keep hold of the band. Keep your shoulders relaxed. There's no arching in the back. And this can be very strong. So I'm going to relax into this for a few breaths. Again, you can see my wrist alignment quite clearly here. The back of my hand is on a direct line with the back of my forearm. So I'm not cocking my wrist back or stretching it that way. I'm just keeping it nice and straight. And using your breath, relax into this. So these are really good, strong stretches for your hamstrings, which in turn helps stretch the buttocks, which in help turn keeps the lower back nice and supple and stretched. Now to come back from this stretch, I'm going to use my core. I'm going to bend my knee into my chest, and I'm focusing on getting my back onto the mat as I bring my leg back to the center. I'm going to keep my right knee bent up and then swap over in mid-air so the band is now over my left foot. I'm back to holding the band with both hands, and I'm directing the band over my ball of my foot and my toes to help draw my toes down towards my body. My right foot and knee is back in line with the hip, and I'm now encouraging my left leg above my hip using the band. Again, remember each side will be slightly different, so if you find you're bending your knee here, then take the leg slightly further away but stay straight behind the knee. The reason for this is that your calf muscles, one of your calf muscles attaches above the knee and your hamstrings attach below the knee. So there's lots going on behind that knee, so if you don't have the knee straight, you're not stretching the muscles properly. So after a few breaths here, I'm going to turn the sole of my right foot in, so working from the outside of the ankle. So the outside of my left foot is up towards the ceiling now. I'm getting a nice stretch down the outside of my left shin. And hold this for a few breaths. All the time breathing into the stretch, using the band to gently encourage my leg a little bit further up above my hip. And then I'm bringing my foot back to where it started. Take both ends of my band in my left hand, fingers on top, thumb below. Point my left leg, my left foot, and take the leg directly out to the side away from me, relaxing my right knee out a bit to help counterbalance my pelvis, and getting a nice stretch on the inside of my left thigh. I'm turning my leg out very slightly from the top of the thigh, and I've got a nice strong stretch here. Relaxing into that. And if you want to take the stretch a bit further, you encourage your left foot up towards your left shoulder a little bit. So remember, if any of these are feeling particularly tight, then go back and stretch them again. You're amazed after you've done 2 or 3 stretches, they feel completely different. But for today, I'm just going to go through one on each side. And then to come back to the center, I bend my knees slightly so that my back isn't arched as I come back to the center. And I'm now taking both ends of my band into my right hand, flexing my left foot again, and taking the leg across the body without bringing off the hip to begin with. You don't need to take it very far to get a good stretch, but think about lengthening away through the heel and the toes come down towards your chest, keeping your shoulders relaxed, keeping straight behind the knee as much as you can. Hold that for a few breaths, and now this might be quite strong enough for you, in which case hold that there for a few more breaths. If you want to take it a bit further, now I'm going to let my left hip come off, but my left shoulder is staying where it is, and I've now got a nice strong stretch through, all the way through my lower back into my left buttock, all the way down my leg, keeping straight behind the knee, reaching away through my heel and bringing my toes towards me, watching my wrist alignment on my right side, and relaxing into this for a few breaths. Just check you're not subtly holding on to any tension in your leg. Just let your leg relax, the band support it. A couple more breaths here. And then to come back to the center, scoop your tummy and your core in, bend your knee to your chest, get your lower back onto the mat and come back to the center. And now take the band away. So those are very useful stretches to bear in mind, and you can do those at any time, whether you run or not, or even if you've gone for a good long walk, then those are extremely beneficial. The fourth stretch I'm going to show you, which I said at the beginning is an optional stretch, is to stretch the quads. And I say optional because we covered that when we were talking about the stretches to do before or after a run. But when you stretch them lying on your side, like I'm going to show you, you get a much deeper stretch. So if you are particularly tight, and a lot of knee problems come from very tight quads and thighs. So if you're having any issues with the knees, then this is a really, really good stretch to do. So you're going to come to lying on your side. So I'm now lying on my left side, and in fact I've got my cushion here, but I'm going to just put it between my ears so that I don't, again, I'm not letting my neck drop down, I'm keeping my neck in line with the spine. And I'm coming onto my side with my legs in a chair position, and I bring my top leg up so I can reach the front of my ankle. What I don't do is grab my ankle like that, because that's twisting my pelvis. So bring your knee so you can reach the front of your ankle and draw your leg around. So you're looking to have a straight line through the front of your body and the front of your thigh. Keep your tummy in and your hips forward. If it's particularly tight, then you can release it and then draw it back a little bit more. Now, if you do have a particular knee problem and you're wearing trousers, you can always hold on to your trousers to draw your leg back so you don't put too much pressure through your knee. But I'm holding my ankle now, and I'm getting a nice stretch. I'm thinking of reaching my knee away from me towards the end wall, and I'm getting a good stretch in the front of my right thigh. I can feel it stretching through my knee. your body instinctively knows if it's a good stretch or a bad stretch. If you feel like you want to draw away from it, then don't stay there, take it out of that stretch. But if it just feels nice and strong and a good stretch to the knee, then that will actually do you a lot of good. So hold this for a few breaths. Again, as I say, between 20 and 30 seconds. 30 seconds is ideal. And then release. So come on to the other side now. I'm going to lie on my right side. Get my cushion between my arm and my ear. Lie on my hip. Bring my left knee towards my chest so I can reach the front of my left ankle. Keeping on my side, hips forward, tummy in. And take my left knee back in line with my body. So if you can hold the front of your ankle, then great. If not, if you've got trousers, you can hold the back of your trousers. If not, you can actually take your band or your scarf and wrap it around your ankle and hold onto the scarf to help draw your knee back. If it's very tight, then you can release it forward just a little bit and then gradually encourage it back round again. And just relax into this. So again, stretching the quads is very good for stretching the knees. A couple more breaths here. And then carefully let go. So very simple stretches. If you're very tight, you can go back and do another one or another two. As I say, if you're very tight, then 3 stretches is absolutely ideal. Okay, thank you very much. And I hope you found those very useful and hope to see you another time. Thank you.